We all have those people or things in our life that we pretty much know are not good for us. Or we may question whether someone or something should stay in our life. So, how do we know if someone or something is toxic? And how do we even let go? By the end of this video, you'll have 5 things that you should let go of, and you'll have some tips on how to actually do it. Stay tuned. Before we dive in, I'll promise I'll keep this short. My name is Pamela, and I make videos for women in their 20s that are always trying to be a better version of themselves and have big goals that they're trying to reach. Let's just say they're trying to live a life way far from the average. So if you'd like a dose of uplifting content every week, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you're notified every time I post a video. I told you that was short. Before we start listing a few things that we need to let go of, let's talk about how we know when someone or something is toxic and it is time to let go. So the way we figure out if someone or something is toxic is in our reaction when we are around that person or thing. Let's say you have a significant other and you're always feeling emotionally drained when you're around them, super negative and exhausted every time you're around them. Most likely that person is toxic for you. Essentially, if you feel more down when you're around someone or something more than you actually feel uplifted or happy, then you might want to consider letting that person go. I think it's important before we get into the 5 things we should let go of to understand why it's hard for us to let go of things, because I think once we know why, then the process becomes a little bit easier. So there are usually 2 voices in our brain. There is the logical voice, I need to go to the store, I need to film this video, I need to go to work, I need to study. And then we have what psychologists call the monkey brain. And the monkey brain is that little voice that tells you all the reasons why you should not or should do something. This part of the brain wants to keep you safe at all times. The way the monkey brain thinks is, if you're okay now, if you're surviving now, then there's no reason for a change, because that's scary. And even though we're not happy, it doesn't know what can come out of it. I want to jump into the first thing that we need to let go of. But before I do, comment monkey brain down below so that I know that you're still with me and we're here on the same page, girl. Now let's get into the 5 things that we should let go of. Taking things personally. So many things that are out of our control that we can experience and encounter, and we immediately think that it's us because of something we did. It's important to always keep in mind that the way someone is behaving most of the time has nothing to do with you. You never know, maybe somebody's struggling to pay their bills, maybe they're having a tough time in their marriage or their relationship. There could be a loved one or family member that's very sick. They may be struggling with something mentally. They just had a big argument with someone that they really love. The list goes on and on. But I think it's very helpful to keep all this in mind, all the possible different reasons why somebody may have said something to you that you don't think you deserved. Keep all of that in mind, and I think that really helps with letting go of little things that actually don't matter. And if it does have something to do with you, then it's up to them to communicate that to you, because you're not a mind reader. If somebody says something to you that kind of stings a bit, think about it. You know, why am I taking this personal? Do I think this is true in some way? If it's somebody that you truly love and they said something to you that really stings, I think it's important to communicate that and ask them, hey, you know, what you said this morning was very hurtful. Is there something that I did, or, you know, what's going on? Number 2 is to let go of holding things in. Whew. I used to be notorious for this one, of holding things in. Notorious. A lot of the times we keep things in because one, we don't want to talk about it with someone and hurt somebody's feelings, or we don't want to be vulnerable and we don't know what could unfold if we bring something to the table, so we'll just keep it inside. This is a problem. Things build up. So you can keep it in the first time, second time, third time that person hurts your feelings, but things do build up. You actually become closer to people when you are vulnerable and when you talk through things that may have caused you pain or may have hurt your feelings, because you're constantly evolving and elevating that relationship. Holding things in reminds me of when you're trying to grab all the grocery bags because you don't want to make a bunch of trips. You finally make it to your destination and you just drop the bags, and it's like so relieving. So the way I look at it is, when you hold things in, instead of choosing, you're gonna just drop it in the when you least expect it. You know, when things are just too heavy, it's gonna come out. And the problem with that is that usually it was triggered by something, so you're just gonna spit out a bunch of things that you didn't even really think through. You're just gonna spit out whatever comes in your head, and usually that's not the best, very nasty things, or things that you don't really mean. You're just saying them because you're really angry. If someone loves and respects you, they're going to honor your feelings, they're going to honor your voice, and they're going to listen to what you have to say. It's more courageous to speak your truth than to just close it in. This brings me to the next one. Let go of someone or something that's making you feel negative, instead of bringing value and love into your life. A lot of the times we see the good in people and the potential that someone has, but the potential that someone has and what they could amount to be shouldn't be what keeps us around. That person should be bringing, in the present moment right now, love and value into your life. Well, to flip this around to something that you should let go of, let's use the example of unhealthy snacks. I am a culprit of this one. Unhealthy snacks in your pantry. Let's say you had a long day of work, you come home, you want to watch TV, and there is a big bag of Lay's, or my favorite, Hot Cheetos, in your pantry, and you go grab the bag and you feel so good in the moment eating the chips and watching whatever show you're watching. It may feel good in the moment, but long term, it's just gonna keep you back and hold you back from your goals. The next one is let go of perfection. Did you hear me? Because I feel like I need to say that again for myself. Hello. The way I put this one is, who would you want to hang out with? Would you want to hang out with the girl that trips and falls and gets up laughing hysterically because she accidentally made a fool out of herself? Girl that doesn't care about being a little bit silly out in public because she just wants to live the best life and make the best out of every moment? Or would you prefer to hang out with the girl that doesn't really want to share about what's really going on in her life because she loves to make things seem flawlessly perfect? Personally, I would like to hang out with the silly girl that may be imperfect at times, and that's okay. You can try to control every second of every day, but the reality is that life is gonna catch you unexpectedly and things will happen. The moment you give yourself permission to make mistakes and accept them as lessons instead of moments to criticize yourself, you'll find yourself being so much more happier. We like perfection in photos. You know, that's why we have filters and all that good stuff. But in real life, when it comes down to it, when it's time to connect and actually talk to one another, we will pass perfection any time of the day. I actually just did a video on self-love, so I'll leave that link down below in case you missed it and you want to take a peek at it. Let go of what other people think. We care so much about what other people think, but in reality, other people are not really thinking about us because they're so wrapped up in thinking about themselves. And even if someone is going to think about you or have an opinion about you, it's gonna cross their mind, they'll think about it for a few seconds, and then they're gonna go right back to thinking about themselves. That's just the reality. I think it's really important to know that you know your potential, you know what you're capable of, you know what's really in your heart, not everybody else. It's also important to know that you have the right to choose whose opinion is valuable to you. Living your life based on what other people think about you is just going to end up with you regretting a lot of things and wishful thinking, wishing that you did A, B, or C, and regretting not doing it because you decided to listen to what everybody else had to say. If you're here with me, comment down below, let go, and let me know what are some things that you're letting go of. It doesn't have to be super personal. It could be something like hot Cheetos, currently what I'm trying to let go of. Okay, so like this video if you're feeling super motivated to let go of toxic things or a toxic someone in your life. I give you permission to let go of whatever or whoever is not serving your life at the moment, because as girl bosses, you need to be very careful about who you're allowing in your team. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this video on your socials. Maybe there's somebody out there that needs a sign that it's time to let go of a little someone. I'm always hanging out on Instagram, so you can follow me there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday with another video. Bye.